Dlamini-Zuma could face going to jail. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the News in 5. Just a quick reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that tomorrow evening during our Comedians Roast the Headlines show, the comedy icon Barry Hilton will be on the show with us as we make fun of some local and international headlines. The show is always a lot of fun, and you guys get to partake in the show as well in the live chats. Also, a quick reminder to join the open Telegram group where you guys can get updates of upcoming uploads and live streams. And finally, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing if you like this content. Leave a like and share the video far and wide. Now, with all that being said, let's get into it. Sakeliga obtains court order against Dlamini-Zuma over lockdown records. For the first time since the declaration of a national state of disaster for COVID-19 in March 2020, the veil of secrecy over the government's decision-making process regarding COVID disaster management regulations will be lifted. This is owing to a court victory that Sakeliga achieved this month against Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Dlamini-Zuma. The minister now has no other legal choice but to deliver a variety of records requested by Sakeliga back in 2020.
I'm gonna have a BF. Oh my god, she's gonna have a bitch fit. Oh.
I reached out to Pete LaRue, the CEO of Sakeliga, to tell us a little bit more about this victory and why it's so important.
Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma decided to try and keep those records secret, why we couldn't go to beaches, or why some people were working essentially and some weren't, why some could earn their bread and some couldn't, why people had to stay locked up in shacks and in homes and couldn't go to the garden, and why children weren't allowed to play outside. All of that, she has decided to keep her records secret. But under this court case by Sakeliga, she will no longer be able to do so, and she is now forced to reveal those records that she wanted to keep secret by 9 December. If she does not, we will have the option of pursuing a contempt of court application. And so we look forward to either receiving those records or proceeding with further steps against Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma so that we can prevent a repeat of what we all had to go through, all that irrational interventions that caused such great economic and human harm over more than 2 years.
And what a long 2 years it was. I did make some videos on the lockdowns. The first one was about the first 6 months of lockdowns. If you're watching on your cell phone, you can find a link to it right here. Otherwise, you can look in the description below and you can find a link to that video. I highly encourage everyone to go watch it. I'm a huge fan of Sakeliga and I support them in everything they do. They have a great track record when it comes to winning cases. For example, earlier this month, they won a critical case against BBEE procurement.
This means that state-owned entities no longer have to disqualify suppliers for not meeting BEE requirements. Let's get reaction to this from Pete LaRue.
I just should point out that there are still preferential procurement regulations. It's just that for the first time in many, many years in South Africa now, these regulations make no mention of BEE nor of local content requirements. And I think that's very good. From a public point of view.
And they also allow or empower state organs to determine their own preferential procurement policies within the framework that still exists around the preferential procurement.
Yes, indeed. And that is as it should be, constitutionally speaking. The Framework Act, it's already in the name of the Act. The Act is supposed in terms of the Constitution to provide a framework for preferential policy and not to prescribe the kinds of what that policy should look like in detail, as the Minister of Finance before the current one tried to do.
And now, once again, Sakeliga is not only looking out for South African businesses, but also the South African people. And the timing of this couldn't be even more interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because NDZ recently announced that she is running for presidency of the ANC. I don't even want to begin to imagine what South Africa would be like with her in control.
Dictatorship at the highest.
Hide your alcohol and hide your cigarettes, people.
Take it to DEFCON 2.
Things are going to get very interesting in the next month or so. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think NDZ is going to cough up the goods? Or do you think Sakeliga is going to have to hold her in contempt of court? And if that's the case, do you think she's going to pull a Zuma? Ah, yes. Thanks, Soros. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy these. Keen to hear from you guys. And with that being said, stay safe, be kind to one another, and I'll see you at the next one. Cheers.